Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It's time for our weekly recap of Sistas. This is season 4, episode 16, and it was titled Look Closely. Alright, y'all, ignore the hair. You know how I'm transitioning. I just washed my hair, so I'm transitioning through hairstyles. I'll be back on Thursday with this dude done. But I ain't watching none on Thursday, so y'all gonna get the recap reviews maybe like Sunday or Monday. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you end up liking this video or recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. All right, y'all. So let's jump into it. This episode to me was kind of like womp womp, but you know, I watched it anyway. So we still in the grocery store, and one of the college, because I think they were college students or whatever, and the girl asking can she get their photo, and of course Sabrina like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. She like, are you going to marry him? And Sabrina like, we just met. And so Danny like, so he like a royal prince, like a royal prince, and she was like, yes, like royalty, he is. And so they end up taking a photo. Bree looked real uncomfortable taking a picture, but she still took it or whatever. They go on about their business, and they like, I can't wait to tell Mama. I can't wait to show her. I was just like, oh my god. But Danny like, Bree, you ain't know none of this. You ain't know he was a prince and all that. She was like, no. At first she tried to play it off like she ain't look him up and stuff. But Danny like, girl, I know you Googled him. She was like, I did, but ain't nothing pop up like that. So they look up his country. And then boom, Danny found all this information, like he is the prince and all this other stuff. So she was like, oh my God, why he ain't never tell me nothing like this? And why would he tell you? He probably ain't tell you because he wants you to come for him for his money or whatever like that. But he had to know that she saw his money, how much he had in his account, because he went to the bank talking about he wanted to cash $1 million. Wasn't it like $100,000 check or something ridiculous like that? So he had to know that she knew he had money. But she was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to talk to him about this. And she was like, yeah, when you gonna meet him? She was like, tomorrow we supposed to have dinner. She was like, all right, girl, bag him. You know how Danny do. But Bree like, I mean, I'm gonna talk to him, but I don't know how to bring it up. And she was like, but don't tell the girls, Danny. Don't tell the girls. So Danny was like, I'm gonna finish doing this research on him. I got to find out all about him. And she was just like, don't tell the girls. She was like, why wouldn't you want to gloat about, you know, what's going on? She was like, just keep it on a hush hush or whatever. So she was like, all right. We see Andy. She comes, no, I'm sorry. She's still at the jailhouse with Fatima. Fatima's still sitting there waiting. Andy tell her that, you know, she gonna have to wait until the morning time. Basically, this whole scene was Fatima was trying to see, shout out, I say Gary. She was trying to see Zach. And so Andy went to go talk to the people, and they basically told Andy, like, no, she got to come back in the morning time and she could see him then. So she like, all right, bet, well, I'll just wait here. And Andy like, no, you not sitting here waiting here all night. Like, why would you do that? Like, just come back in the morning time. So then she claimed she wanted to go back to the office and get her work phone. And so Andy was like, no, I'll have a messenger bring you your work phone because Hayden is still at the office. She was like, okay, good. I don't want to, you know, go back to jail or nothing like that. And Fatima had asked Andy to call Robin up and ask him again, like, yo, can you ask Robin to get him out and all this other stuff? So she calls Robin. Robin basically said, like, it's a little harder for him because, you know, he got a record and all that other stuff. So shoot, I'll figure that out tomorrow. I got a judge waiting for the call back tomorrow. So she goes tell Fatima, and Fatima like, all right, bet, whatever. They end up leaving to go home. That pretty much was the scene. We at Proud Bar. Maurice coming in there with the shades on and stuff. Of course, the bartender like, well, what you doing here, girl? You don't usually come here this night. And so Maurice like, I had to get out my house because Calvin, and before he even get to finish the sentence, Calvin come falling over there because he drunk or whatever. And so he like, well, what was you talking about? What you talking about? And so then Maurice like, I was telling him how you invited Q into the house. So the bartender like, is his name Josh? I feel like his name is Josh. But the bartender like, what? Q in your house alone, like right now? Like, and nobody there? Like, I don't think that's safe. Like, y'all need to go back to the house and get him before he rob y'all and stuff. And so Maurice basically getting back and forth with Calvin and telling Calvin like he should just go on about his business or whatever. And so Calvin ends up falling all over the place and whatever, child. And then Maurice tells the bartender that, you know, Q over there at the house because he gave the jail, the courthouse, Maurice address, and he on house arrest, so he ain't got no house, so he got to stay there. And Calvin invited him in there, and blah blah blah. And that Maurice don't feel like he should be there, and how Maurice is like trying to stop himself from, you know, attacking Q, because he looking like a whole chocolate drop and all this other stuff. And they end up giving Maurice some penny, and then Maurice gets the dancing, child. And that's pretty much what that was about. Karen, we see her, she eating her ice cream and pickles, and Aaron, he drawing. And he ends up drawing a cute drawing of Karen, but it was like an older Karen, and he said it was just him emptying out his thoughts. So he was, I guess, because it is some people, I don't know if that was the actual picture, you know what I mean? But it is actual artists who will draw by writing, and they'll draw a picture and there'll be actually like a poem or words or whatever. So that's what this photo was supposed to be. And so he told her to look closely at the picture, because she was like, that ain't me. He was like, it's an older version of you. And she was like, I mean, I don't know. So he was like, look closely. And she was like, I'm looking. What you want me to look at? He was like, look closer. So she looked closely, and it was the words going around. And so it was basically like every line, he was like, every line is a word, an expression of his heart. So she started reading it, and I ain't write it all down, child, but it was like, I know you were scared, but I was there and I am still here. We found a way to heal each other's wounds, and this baby was made in a whole bunch of confusion and all this other stuff. As she was reading and she was crying, she was getting all emotional and stuff like that. And she was like, I can't read no more. Make love to me. Make love to me. He was like, okay. So then they started about Chicky Wow Wow and child. Andy at home. El Fuego pops up at the house because remember he's supposed to be doing a bug sweep and stuff. So, you know, he real professional, and Andy like, oh my God, you're so like professional. You got all the tools and stuff. I am like so proud of you and stuff. And he was like, I mean, but you just thought I was a stripper? And she was like, I mean, yeah. And so he was like, but I do more than just take my clothes off, you know. She was like, yeah, I mean, you was smart in college and stuff like that with all the books and the computers and stuff. He was like, yeah, but you know, when I got out, wasn't nobody hiring, so you know I had to take care of myself, so I started taking the clothes off. So she was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And he was like, all right, well, what you want me to start? What you want me to do? She was like, oh, you know, I just want you to do like a little bug of sleep because this is a new place and I just want to make sure everything is okay. He was like, all right, so will you want me to start again? She was like, well, I mean, you can start in the kitchen. He was like, all right. So then she get a call from downstairs, and it's the front desk or whatever, and they saying like the girls is there, and she like, all right, buzz them up. He was like, well, is Danny one of them girls and stuff? She was like, yeah. He was like, oh shit. She was like, well, what's that about? Well, you know, she don't like me. So he was like, she treat me like shit. I mean, well, she treats everybody that she likes like shit. He was like, what? Well, she must really like me because she treat me like shit. And so he was basically saying like she don't know how to express herself and all that other good stuff. So the girls come up and they like, oh, what he's doing here? Bree and her hot ass. Oh, what El Fuego's doing here? What all those tools? I said, girl, if you don't get it together like you ain't never seen a man before. So he like, well, he gonna go into the bedroom and do some sweeping. So then they, Andy tells, well, no, actually Danny spilled the beans. Like she think Gary planted some bugs in here, so she trying to do a sweep and stuff. And so she was like, oh, okay, whatever. And so then they get on Karen finally. And so Bree was saying like she called the salon, and Pam had told Karen like not Karen, Jesus help me, Karen, no, jeez Lord, why I keep messing these people name up. Bree had called the salon, and Pam had told Bree that Karen wasn't there all day. Whoo, child, that was a lot. So she was like, they was all like, all day? Like, she wasn't at work all day? Like, what's going on? Like, where the hell was she at? And so they was like, Andy, did she call you? So then Andy look at her phone, and she like, she didn't call me all day. What's up with that? Like, like, something ain't right. And so, they had got on something like El Fuego might be putting cameras or some shit in there. And so then Andy was like, oh, let me go and check what he doing. And so Danny and Bree was talking, just about Karen and all that other stuff. And before Andy had left, Danny had told Andy and Bree that Karen still wanted Zach, and that she wasn't going to let him go. She was going to do whatever she could do to, get him back and all the other stuff. And Andy was like, that's not a good idea, because he in love. Like, him and Fatima is in love. Like, they love each other. Like, they willing to go to jail for each other type love. And so she was like, I know. And then I saw the house, and that bitch bad. And so they was doing that. And so then Andy went away. Bree and Danny was talking. They was just talking back and forth about Karen. And then they figured out, like, maybe Karen went to the doctors. That's why she was missing or whatever. So then Danny like, well, I feel like we should pop up on Karen. I'm like, not a good idea. But they tell Andy, and Andy like, that's a good idea. They was like, well, why you want to pop up? She was like, because we think that she went to the doctors today. And since she ain't reach out to you, she ain't reach out to us, something up. So they was like, all snap. So she want to pop up. So then El Fuego, what's that boy real name? El Fuego finished doing what he was doing or whatever like that. And so then they get ready to pop up on Karen. Before they pop up, Andy, of course, got to call Robin and let Robin know that, because they were supposed to meet up. But she had called Robin from the jail. He wanted to come over, see her that night or whatever like that. But since the house is bug free, she ends up telling Robin, like, I'm going to be getting in late and stuff like that. So won't you just come to my place? I'll have them buzz you up and you can stay the night. I said, girl. So, they send El Fuego on his business. Before they do, Danny apologizes to him and actually says, like, you can take me to dinner and we can chat or whatever. He was like, no, I could come to your spot and then you can cook me up a meal and then we can do it that way. So she was like, all right, whatever. And so then they all gather their things and go. Andy, well, I already told you about Andy. So Robin in the office. So we see this little scene between Robin and Hayden. So Robin basically is trying to get Hayden to tell on himself, to snitch on himself and what he doing or whatever. But Hayden not going to do that, because Hayden is Hayden, right? And he don't really trust people, you could say. And so Robin go in there and he like, well, I heard about what had happened here or whatever. Like, what's going on with that? Like, I heard around the water cooler that you was like enticing them or you was coming at Fatima man or something like that. And so Hayden make up this story like, no, I'm with this white chick and Fatima jealous and she with that hood rat and she can't get enough of me and she came at me and yada yada yada. And I'm like, oh boy, stop. But that's probably what he really think in his head. So he was like, cause these bitches in Atlanta, they be wilding and she crazy. She came over my house with the bat and was knocking everything over. And I'm like, girl, chill. I don't want to be with you no more. It's like, it's over with or whatever. You with your dude, I with my dude. I said. So Robin was like, well, you was messing together when she was working here or whatever. And he was like, yeah, but gotta keep that on the low because ain't no fraternization going on. And that's what I thought. So that's why I'm like, well, how Andy and Robin, I mean, they kind of, because that's her boss. So she could get in trouble and he could get in trouble too. So how you want to come at this man? I mean, ain't no proof for real. But how you want to come at this man and you doing the same dirt? Like, Robin, if you don't go somewhere, but a child, he's still trying to get more information, but Hayden ain't really telling him. He was like, so then Hayden tried to flip it around, was like, I know you and you and Andy getting it in, so I'm gonna keep that on the low. He was like, no, me and her ain't doing that. He was like, you could tell me, man, you could tell me. He was like, no, because I'm gay. So then he was like, and you my type or whatever like that. And I'm like, here we go with the stupidness. Now, so then Hayden like, no, man, I'm good. I'm not gay or whatever like that. And so then Hayden tried to throw it out there again. He like, well, I mean, because you in London, so if you and her was doing something for real, like it wouldn't matter because you in London and you here, whatever. He was like, no, I'm telling you I'm gay or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, well, is there anything else like you needed in here or whatever? He was like, no, I'm good. I'm about to hit out. But he was still sitting there. So it was like this weird, awkward scene where Robin was still sitting. I was just like, child. And then they're gonna have a partners meeting the next day, and I guess that's where they're gonna like announce that Robin owned the company and all this other stuff. And then of course Hayden gonna be looking all stupid in the face because he done opened up his mouth. I was just like, child, boo bye. Because I still don't like Robin. I don't know. What y'all feel about Robin? Because I just don't like him. Fatima, she at home dressed. I said, where the hell is she going? She got on her boots. She got on her like, what's she finna do? Like, if she don't keep her ass on, I hope she ain't about to pop up on Hayden ass. Because I'm tired of that. Okay. Zach ended up calling her. She apologizing and whatnot. And he like, it's okay. I would do anything for you. I would fight for you or whatever. Like, you my girl. You did the same for me, yada, yada, yada. And then he starts telling her to talk to him about food and stuff and make him happy and yada, yada, yada. So their call had ended up ending, and that was it. So then we see Calvin, child. Calvin at home, drunk, child. Like, oh, the room is spinning. Let the room stop spinning. Like he like real drunk. So Q like, you need something, you good or whatever. So he go get him some water and stuff, and then Calvin, they sit down on a couch, and then Calvin ends up telling him that he's trying to get his mind off of Bree, and he starts telling him how Bree thinks he gay, and she not really checking for him. And so Q was like, well, why would she think you gay? And so, well, no, before he got to that, he was like, well, because Calvin was like, I'm not gay or whatever. And so Q was like, I understand. He was like, well, how you understand? He was like, because you gay. He was like, no, I'm not gay. I'm cash gay or some shit. He said, gay for the pay, basically. So he was like, oh, okay. Well, then, so Q was like, well, why do she think you gay? And so he was like, well, we was doing it, and then I seen her vibrator, and he was like, oh man, what, you can't get it up or something like that? You told her to use it on herself? He was like, no, I told her to use it on me. And he was like, oh, so you're not gay? So he was like, no. And so Calvin asked him, did he try it? And he was like, no, he got to do not enter sign, but he could do it to other people because a hole is a hole or whatever, because he cash gay or whatever like that. And so when Calvin get ready to get up, because he like, I'm about to go to bed or whatever. And so Q asked him, like, you want to feel it or whatever, you want to know how I feel, you want me to show you how I feel or whatever like that. He was like, nah, man, I think you just need to go back to sleep on the couch. I'm gonna go in my room or whatever. And so when Calvin get ready to get up, he was like, you sure? And so then we see Calvin, he like thinking about it or whatever. I said, and that's how the episode ended, child. I'm about sick of this. I'm about sick of it. Oh, God, we back on the Calvin gay shit. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all felt about tonight's episode, or, I'm sorry, not tonight's episode, Wednesday's episode, y'all. If y'all end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all, until next time.